Welcome to the 2014 Jordnt ceremony. We're going to go ahead and get started with our awesome Amundsen band in the procession. Rise for the Star Spangled Banner. Present our principal, Ms. Benjamin, for welcoming address.
Good morning, Vikings. It's my favorite thing. I say that because Mr. Jordnt, who was a student here and whose father taught here, always says good morning. So he answers to the call of the Vikings. So one more time, good morning, Vikings. Good morning. That's better. Thank you. Thank you. I am not going to spend a lot of time talking today because this event is really not about me. It's about all of you, and it's not really about what I think. It's about what all of you are doing. So today I just wanted to first say a few words of gratitude. I want to say thank you to the parents for coming today and for trusting us with your students. I want to say thank you to the parents of the teachers for coming and for providing me with some of the most outstanding employees that a principal can have. To the students, I want to say thank you to all of you out there, and particularly to those of you up here, for lifting our school, raising it to new heights, helping us soar to new levels of academic excellence. To the teachers on the stage, I want to say thank you for keeping us grounded and for helping us remember on a day-to-day basis why we're here and who we're working for. I'd like to say, last but not least, thank you to our honored guests today. And if I can take a moment to introduce them. First, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Pucci and his wife, Jan Pucci, both of whom were employees Walgreens for decades. Mr. Pucci worked for Walgreens for 38 years and his wife Jan for 30 years. And they're here today to celebrate with us. Mr. Bob Delaney, Director of Regulatory Law. He comes, I think, every year. I don't know, the 2 years I've been here, he's been here, and it's always a pleasure to see him. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce the people without whom any of this would be possible. I'd like to introduce Dan Jordnt and his wife, Pat Jordnt. us forward always, for giving us something to work for and strive for. The students know that you are here for them. They know that you are here to help them do something that otherwise might have been impossible for them. So to you, we want to say your mandate that expired years and years ago, and that not only are you continuing, but that you continue to grow for our school and for our students. I got nothing. I'm heart for you. I'm heart for you. So thank you. We're going to get started and celebrate all of the wonderful people who are doing wonderful things in Amundsen. Thank you.
You've already heard from our band. Next, let's give a big applause to our orchestra. can all wait for. I'd like to introduce Mr. Dan Jordnt.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, first I want to recognize the band and the string group. I can remember when the Amundsen band wasn't an Amundsen band. You guys are just great. The strings, I can't believe it. It's like the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. So, Mr. Zabrowski, Mr. Reidy, Mr. Spain, are you here anywhere? All right, well, thank you, Mr. Spain, too, for the work he does in the chorus. It's just great to see how these students have come along and play these instruments. It's pretty much a wow for me. You've already met some of the folks here on stage, but I'd like to just add a few words about John and Jan Pucci. Stand up, John. Stand up, Jan. I met John Pucci when he was 16 years old, like you. He was a stock boy at a Walgreens store out in Thatcher Woods in River Grove. A very hard-working stock boy. And like you, he was thinking about girls and cars and girls. But he studied too. He made up his mind to get ahead. He ended up running some of the, Walgreens has 8,000 stores today, and John Pucci ran 4 of the 5 of the very largest stores in the company. So he really accomplished something. And the best thing he ever did was meet Jan. And Jan worked at Walgreens, and John running these big stores, he'd call into the purchasing department, and Jan would answer. He said, well, send me a carload of this, or send me half a truckload of that. And after a while, he said, are you married? No. Do you like Chinese? She didn't tell him she'd never had Chinese food. He says, well, yeah, how about we go out for Chinese some night? And now they've been happily married for 29 years, and they're both still alive. And stand up, Bob Delaney. One of the hard parts about passing out money is that there's a lot of government regulations. You have to form a foundation. You have to fill out tax forms every year. You have to have meetings. In other words, it's a pain. But it's painless for Pat and I, because Bob Delaney does all the work. Keeps all the forms filled in, keeps the government off our back, allows us to be here every year to pass out awards to these deserving teachers and students. So thank you, Bob Delaney. Okay, now I get to introduce my sweetie pie. And I met her when she was 17 years old, but that was 54 years ago. And I try to remind myself every day that I'm a lucky guy. She put up with a lot. When you work for Walgreens, you work long hours, right, Jen? You're not home a lot, but boy, I was the luckiest guy in the world when she crossed my path, and I still am. So Pat Jordnt, come on.
Good morning. Dan and I are once again so happy to be here with you at Amundsen High School to honor 3 special teachers and to present them with checks for their excellent service to students, the school, and therefore the community. But first, I have to congratulate all of you for that fantastic video I saw on YouTube. Actually, a double wow. We were so impressed, and actually I have it on a lot at home. I just love the music and watching you all. Anyway, it was unbelievable, and it looked like so much fun, and I'm hoping to get more details on how you actually did that. But watching this video, a couple of obvious attributes of a standout from the crowd, school, staff person, or individual teacher comes to mind. The first one is organization. So many people were involved here in the organization that went into making that video. Another great quality of an outstanding teacher is willing to go out on a limb for the students, to be supportive in doing something unique, to inspire them and have some fun. Everybody seemed to really get into it, and it gave us a very warm feeling about this school. The teachers whom you have selected to honor are those that regard teaching as a huge responsibility and give of themselves every day with a passion to enlighten, inspire, and teach others. They, in turn, continue to learn from interaction with you. To quote John Dewey, an American philosopher, education is not a preparation for life, it is life itself. And we are fortunate to have these teachers in our lives. Congratulations to you. The first outstanding teacher that you all have selected is Meadows.
Good morning, students, parents, and staff. I would first like to, of course, thank Dan and Patricia Jordnt for this incredible opportunity. Your generosity and wholehearted efforts to help Amundsen students achieve their dreams beyond high school has opened so many doors for our students, and I cannot wait to see the amazing ways that these 6 deserving and hardworking students use that power. I'd also like to thank our principal, Ms. Anna Pavicevic, and our assistant principals, Min Nguyen, Christy Eilers, and Sybil Ortiz. You believed in me and challenged me to develop myself as both an educator and teacher in ways beyond anything I could have imagined. To the counseling team, Morgan Kelly, Shamuni Brahimi, Perry DeFiglio, and Anid Chinchilla, I see you more than my own family. You are like a second family to me. We start each day with the goal of connecting with students, whether it's individual counseling in our group work or by grade level interventions in the auditorium. You've inspired me, guided me, and brought more comic relief to the office, especially Mr. DeFiglio, than you will ever know. I would like to thank Patrick Brackett and my parents, aunt, and uncle who traveled from Indianapolis to be here with me today. You guys are my support system and role models, and I can't thank you enough for being here. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the students of this school. You are the reason I get excited to come to work every day. To share this stage today, not only with Ms. Sarhan and Mr. Reidy, 2 incredible teachers who I look up to, but also these 6 incredibly strong and caring and hardworking people, these students before us, is something I never could have imagined 4 years ago when I set foot in this building for the first time in hopes of completing my counseling internship here. I liked it so much I never left. With over 30 different languages spoken in the homes of Amundsen students, this school is filled with such rich cultural diversity. It's one of my favorite things about working here. And I consider it my greatest honor to get to hear the stories of the students in this building. Growing up, my dad always told me that when choosing a career, I just need to find something that makes me happy. Simple as that. Really glad I listened to you. Thank you. And I challenge every student in this room to find what makes you happy and to use that power to give back to others, just as the Jordnts have done today. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Second teacher for outstanding contribution is Reidy.
outstanding. It's funny because basically from the custodial crew to the administration, I basically got the can't wait for your speech, Reidy. And I'm like, oh boy, you know, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be funny, we're gonna be serious. But I think a lot of the speech was conveyed via their performance. I think it's incredible. Look at all these kids on stage. Look at what the music program has become in this school. Look how awesome it is. It's just that we have the support coming from everywhere where we can do this is amazing. You know, I, of course, had my funny speech. We're not going to go there, though. We're going to go with the, this is incredibly humbling, especially for someone like me who's a natural-born cynic. I think what I try to do with my teaching, to make it brief, is I try to, I remember my favorite teachers were characters. And so I try to not be a character, but I try to bring out that in kids with humor, and you have to connect with them on a one-on-one level. And so many teachers here, I cannot even imagine. It took a village to raise the child. I mean, you know, I visit you guys all the time. I can't even, there's others. Yeah, he's one of them. Thanks for helping me with this, brother. I'd like to thank the Jordnts. It's incredibly generous what you do for this school. It's amazing. The first time I met Mr. Jordnt, it was my first gig in the library, nervous, and he comes up to me and he socks me on the shoulder and he goes, "You're changing lives." And I go, and he hit me like straight up. I'm like, I've liked him ever since. That's a character. I like characters. Now I'm not hitting my kids. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my lovely wife Michelle and who just made me James and Nora, who are behaving really well since Mommy left. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. And the continued support is amazing. We didn't miss a beat. We've grown so much with the new admin too. We're not missing a beat. We're getting stronger, better, and I cannot wait to see what these groups are going to look like in like 2 or 3 years. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Last but not least, Sarhan.
Good morning, Amundsen. Thank you for this great warm welcome. There are 4 groups of people I'd like to thank today. First and foremost, Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt. Your generosity to supporting teachers and providing students from your alma mater the opportunity to attend college is remarkable. And for that, I am honored to be the recipient of the Joy Teaching Award. The second group of people I'd like to thank today are my family, my parents, my husband, and my 3 lovely children. Special thanks go to my friend Maria and my mom, who are here today and have always been there for me. Shukran, Mama. The third group of people I'd like to acknowledge are the wonderful administrators, the teachers, especially my colleagues in the science department. Also, I would like to thank the support staff, security, and the engineers who make Amundsen a great environment for teaching and learning. And I saved the best for last, my past and current students, especially my AP Physics classes. Exceptional group of students. Also for all the students that I had the joy to work with you through science fair, bridge contest, summer internships, and robotics club. I'm proud of your journey from our school activities to the area fair, city, and even state. You are true champions. I have the joy of working with you every day. Good luck in your future adventures and keep in touch. Thank you.
Next, the Amundsen Band with Pantheon.
Oh man, between the band and the string orchestra, we're just so proud of you. And I know how much work goes into what you do. And teachers, we know how much work goes into what you do too. This is just an amazing thing. I don't think we had a string orchestra here 3-4 years ago. And the band, they had on Levi's 5 years ago. And we're just very, very proud of you. And speaking of pride, I know the parents are here, and every student, every teacher, everyone, one thing all of us want in life is for our parents to be proud of us. And I know that the parents that are here today are very, very proud of both the teachers and the students that are on stage. But I'd like to always throw out one little challenge each year when we come. And my challenge this year is for each of you to be proud of you. When you look in the mirror in the morning, say, hey, I'm proud of that boy or girl, man or woman I see in the mirror today. And the way you build that pride and self-confidence, I believe, is by doing something difficult. These teachers here have a lot of pride in themselves, not false pride, not, oh, I'm great pride, but pride that I'm going to go out there and do something good today for the students. And in doing that, I can have pride in myself. So for the teachers, and I know there's lots of teachers here that aren't on stage, the teachers that are here, when you look in the mirror in the morning, I'm going to go into Amundsen today and turn on one extra student. Or I'll be like Mr. Reidy or Mr. Zabrowski. I'm going to start with a few and end up with a mighty band or a mighty string orchestra. And it takes a lot of work. I'm sure there's days Zabrowski goes home and beats his head against the wall. Not that you would cause him to do that. And Mr. Reidy too. But those are challenges. And students, I'd throw out to you, pick a class. Say, I'm going to get an A or a B in that class, even though I'm getting a C. Pick it out. Write it down. Make it a goal. And my bet is 100% of you could do it. But it's hard. The hardest part of any job is A, making up your mind, and B, starting. So I'd encourage you, pick a class, pick a teacher. Teachers, pick a student, pick a class. Write it down. Do such a good job that you could be proud of that. So next year when Pat and I come down here, we'd love to give out a $10,000 check to some boys. So a few of you boys out there, make up your mind, you'll be up here next year. Because we like diversity. We don't have any diversity up here when it comes to the sexes. And I think the chances are these young ladies have worked a little harder than some of the young men in the audience. So next year, let's have a little more sexual diversity up here on stage. So the first award, Irma Rodas.
Hello, good morning. I want to start off by thanking everyone who came today. I just want you all to know that I'm thrilled, blessed, and thankful for this scholarship. I am this to Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt. Thank you so much. And his family. Thank you. God bless you and your family always. This means a lot to me and my family. This is one more motive to attend college and not give up. Because there will always be someone out there in the world willing to help you as long as you look for help. I also want to thank my parents who brought me to the United States. Because of them, I would have never accomplished so many things and had so many experiences and wonderful things this past 4 years, such as going to Africa, be a national member, meet so many wonderful people, and attend UIC. I also want to thank all my teachers who have never given up on me and had always pushed me to do my best and motivate me. This means a lot to me, so thank you.
Brittany Tan.
especially those we've had for the past 4 years. You guys have put up with me and dealt with my antics and faults, especially this past year. Sorry. I'd also like to really thank Ms. Kajapnian and Mrs. Smith for not only supporting me academically, but also emotionally. I would also like to thank my close friends, Mikey Nisom, Serena Nassan, for motivating me to continue striving for success in the future. But I would like to definitely recognize Ayesha Choudhry and J.R. Spia for always being there for me no matter what. And even when I felt like giving up, they would make sure to move forward. I owe you guys a lot. Lastly, I would like to thank my family. My mom was right there, and those who I consider my family. My fellow IB graduates, and my coaches, Mrs. Szymanski, Mr. Nguyen, and Ms. Meadows. Without you guys, I wouldn't be standing here right now. You guys have done so much for me, so much more than you think you have. I will probably never be able to repay you guys back, but I will forever be grateful and indebted to you all. You guys motivate me, and you all have my unconditional support in the future. I will forever cherish these memories here at Amundsen, and that I made with the classes I was part of. Thank you.
Maham Ali.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt, teachers, administration, and my fellow students. Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt, thank you so much for this truly amazing opportunity to continue my education. I remember being a freshman and in the audience and looking up at the Jordnt winners, and all I could think was that I want to be there, and I want to feel what they're feeling. I wasn't too sure how I was going to get there or what receiving the Jordnt really meant, but today I finally understand. Receiving the Jordnt marks my growth as an individual, from a germinating seed nurtured by my learning, teachers, friends, and parents into a blossoming flower. I would like to thank my teachers for inspiring me to change lives like they have changed mine. Ms. Christensen, thank you for your unconditional support and guidance. You are like a second mom to me. Ms. Smith, your joy of learning inspires me to share mine with others. Thank you. Mr. Evans, you have encouraged me to push myself beyond what I thought was possible. Thank you. Ms. Nguyen, thank you for always believing me and never letting me give up. And lastly, my dad, for setting a path for me to make my own. This room is filled with successful leaders, and I am proud to take my place among them. Learning is more than a joy for me. It is a passion I hope to inspire others with by becoming a teacher. I would like to congratulate my fellow recipients and wish them a happy and exciting future. And I would like to end with a quote by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So students, let's draw our weapons. Thank you.
Irma Avila. Jasmine Avila.
Wow. Good morning, everybody. It is such an honor to be here speaking to you today as a recipient of the Jordnt Joy of Learning Award. Words really cannot express the amount of happiness and gratitude that I feel at this moment. I remember attending past ceremonies and, like Maham, sitting in the back just daydreaming about the day when I get to be up here on stage, making the speech that I'm making right now. To be given this award is truly a blessing, especially as I transition from high school to college. And I'd like to congratulate the other recipients as well, and remind them I'd like to congratulate congratulate the other recipients as well and remind them that all of our hard work and dedication really does pay off. So continue to do well and strive for excellence. As for me, I hope to attend medical school in the near future, so it's obvious that this award will serve me well. I think it's one thing to be recognized for your hard work and commitment, but it's a completely other thing to be rewarded so generously for it. So I'd like to say thank you to my high school for nurturing me and helping me develop into who I am today. Thank you to my friends and my family for your unconditional love and support, especially to the IB class for staying up late with me all those nights doing all that homework. And thank you to Mr. Dan and Pat Jordnt for always keeping us Amundsen Vikings in mind. Thank you.
Tho Nguyen.
Good morning, everybody. So, being able to stand here today and receive such a prestigious award, it's not just about my effort, but it has to do with a lot of help from many people. So, I want to take the chance today to express my gratitude. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt for your generosity and continued support to Amundsen High School. I want to say thank you to my parents, my sister, and my grandmas who are present here today to support me. I have a lot of teachers at Amundsen to say thank you, and first of all, I want to say thank you to Ms. Sarhan, who is also a winner of the Jordnt. Although I only have her this year, but she doesn't only teach me with a lot of science, but she also provides me a lot of opportunities and to help me change myself and to develop to be the person I am today. I want to say thank you to Dr. Miller, and I kind of harassed her this year to edit my college essays, but she also helped me to realize who I am and what I'm capable of doing. To Mr. Nguyen, and I just want to say that you are my role model since I first came here to Amundsen High School. You bring me like the Vietnamese pride and make me feel proud of where I came from. So I also want to thank you, Mr. Reidy and Mr. Ross and all the teachers I have a chance to meet this year and the last year. They helped me to build the knowledge foundation, help to get ready for college. I also want to say thank you to Miss Kelly, who's my counselor, helped me a lot this year with college application. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to my friends, Jessica Mendoza and Ann Lee. Without you guys, Mr. Lee would not be this great at this one. So I just want to ask you, like, let's go to prom together. Okay. Thank you so much.
Ayesha Choudhry.
I feel like a movie star receiving my first award in my career. And like all good actors and actresses, there are a number of people behind my success, all of whom I'd like to thank today. I'd like to thank the director and playwright who moved me of my life, the one and the only. He took the time to write every little detail in my story so I could become who I am today. I'd like to thank the producers, and they've been here since day one. I'd like to thank my co-stars, some of whom are on this stage with me, and the rest are in the IB senior class of 2014. I'd like to thank my mentors, the teachers who have taught me basically everything that I know. A shout out to Ms. Prophes. She corrects my mistakes and tells me to be better than who I am. And and to Mrs. Smith for teaching me outside of school. Lastly, I'd like to thank the guest appearances in my movie of Mr. and Mrs. Jordnt. Without their generosity, I wouldn't have a reason to stand before you all today. Thank you to everyone who had a hand in helping me to receive this award, and I hope your efforts didn't go in vain.
We've got a little surprise for the students on stage, and the reason for the surprise is that Tat here, over the last 54 years, every now and then she gives me the elbow in the ribs, says you ought to do this, or you ought to do that, or when are you going to do this, or when are you going to do that? So the elbow in the ribs this year was, we have to do more for these Amundsen students. So beginning this year, for these students on stage, if you'll be so kind as to mail in your college transcript at the end of each year, mail it into Amundsen. They're going to keep a spreadsheet for me, and we set the bar low because you're going to be working very hard at some very fine universities. You maintain a B average each year, send your transcripts in to Min here, and then the Jordnt Foundation will send you each an additional $5,000. My father coached here and taught here for 23 years. My brothers, George and Tom, played football, track, wrestled here. And real motivation for the Amundsen Awards is standing next to me. So I just want to recognize her one more time. Thank you very much.